At the same time, we are strengthening the link between farms and factories because no industrial ambition succeeds if factories cannot secure consistent input. That is why aggregation, quality checks, storage, and workable supply arrangements matter. Recently, there was cassava chips glut in the Volta region. I also knew of a factory that is coming up. I linked the factory together, and they collected everything. And I rose to the occasion. We are also reinforcing standards and quality because trade is built on trust, and a single rejected shipment can set a business back for months. And we are expanding markets, especially across Africa under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So Ghanaian businesses, particularly women-led and youth-led enterprises, can export with confidence and compete fairly. Now here is where the media becomes essential. Visibility and public trust depend not only on what we do, but we enforce it. Even the best program can lose public trust if facts do not lead the conversation. And even the most sincere policy can be misunderstood if the public cannot see what it means for their lives. I remember my lecturer, we don't lie. We only present the truth beautifully. What about if our women in the media decide to present our public trust grows when people can see the work, understand the work, and assess the work. That is why I want to propose a simple partnership. What I ask from the media is simple. Be fair and factual. Hold us accountable, yes, but do it with evidence and balance. Help translate the work into real life. Let policy sound like what it truly means for the market woman, the farmer, the exporter, and the young graduate looking for jobs. Give visibility to Ghanaian enterprises. Yes, responsiveness, visibility on the ground. Finally, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the presence is central to the Ghana we want to build together. The president has shown belief in women. Our duty now is to justify that belief. Right. Women leaders and the media working with professionalism and mutual respect, then visibility will no longer be a struggle. It will be a natural outcome of real work. May women continue to rule. May we lead. May the opportunity that we have gotten give places for more women to climb the ladder. I thank you for your kind attention.
That was powerful. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. I would now like to welcome the Minister for Government Communications and Special Spokesperson for the President. He needs to go and do some other things, but if you don't agree, we won't really. Then let's welcome you with a round of applause.
Well, I've clearly lost this impromptu election. Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Chief of Staff, Ministers of State, senior government officials, distinguished ladies. In fact, I was going to say gentlemen, but I noticed that we are vastly outnumbered. And therefore, I need to limit my acknowledgement of the men. Let me begin by President, when it should actually be her photograph. She has been the inspiration behind this program. I have had virtually nothing to do. She has done all the legwork and has managed to make history in the sense that this has to be, arguably, the single largest collection of the most powerful women in Ghana. And it is not an easy feat to pull off, and she has done it. She typifies what the woman can. For me, I'm also very gratified that we are able to attract the attention of such a collection of powerful and influential women. Despite your very busy schedules, you have made time to be with us. It is an attestation to the importance that you attach to issues relating to the advancement of the cause of women. Now, we intend for this to be an annual event where we engage in frank exchange, where we engage in ideation and place issues affecting women on the and to be discussed, and firm and concrete outcomes achieved. We also hope that in the coming years, you will give us the same cooperation that you have extended to us today. And I do know that the example that you have set here will set a torch alight that we can hold aloft for a long time to come. If anybody wants to be at a gathering where the most influential women are present and where the most topical issues concerning women are discussed, it will be this Women in Government and Media platform. It will become our own Beijing conference, that famous conference held in China in 1995, at which the late First Lady, Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings of blessed memory, represented Ghana ably. I am happy to be associated with this. We have made incremental progress in terms of the advancement of women. I recall that as a child, I used to, songs were composed, and some of the leading lights in the media, like my sister Giftianti, Akushika Akwe and Co., were at the forefront of this endeavor. The records show today that there are more girls in school than boys. Indeed, recently I was invited to the basic school that I attended as guest of honor for their speech and prize giving day. And when I was there as a student, it was difficult to find a woman amongst the top 10 performing students. But when I last went there, I had the privilege of presenting prizes to girl after girl after girl. And indeed, President Mahama captured it rightly because the girls have clearly overtaken the boys. And it is a step in the right direction. It shows that with consistent efforts, if we work at it, we are going to achieve outcomes that would surpass our expectations. So on that note, let me belatedly welcome all of you and join you to participate fully in this event so that we leave here better off than we arrived. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, my boss. Today I can sleep well. Please, another round of applause for the Honorable Presidential Spokesperson and Minister Government Communication. And he will be taking leave of us very shortly. I want to acknowledge the presence of a very special sister to walk into this very hard arena. And I left her to sit in for a while because I wanted this quiet moment. Ladies and gentlemen, let us acknowledge the presence of Madam Joyce Bauer, Mrs. To be an advisor to the president. Please, Madam Joyce, please rise as we honor your esteemed presence and the work you continue to do to inspire and motivate many young people to enter the arena, because really, why not? Thank you, Honorable, and we will be able to grant you permission to take your leave after a few more minutes. And then the Chief of Staff would also give us some brief remarks on behalf of the President, and then we'll take the remainder of our statements before our Vice will now come and deliver her keynote. So next, now I have the privilege to welcome our Gender Minister that is implementing our affirmative action. She doesn't want me to give her a lot of praise. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome the Honorable Minister for Gender, MP Na Mumu Lati.
Thank you very much, Shemima. Your Excellency, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman, Honorable Chief of Staff, Honorable colleague ministers and deputies, presidential staffers, members of parliament, public officials, development partners, distinguished women in the media space, esteemed media, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to thank you for this great opportunity to be able to share. There's something that Felix said that will make me go straight into talking about the Ministry of Gender. Not to bore you too much with my personal life, and I just want to say that the boys don't have to wait for too long, because the Ministry of Gender has commenced what we call the Men's Conference. And this Men's Conference talks about positive masculinity. We commenced this last year, or early this year, last year. In 2025, we commenced the Men's Conference that talks about positive masculinity, using the men, getting them educated and then sensitized to stop violence against women. Using them to support the women empowerment agenda has come to stay. It is interesting that anytime we talk about women and leadership, people ask, what do you bring to the table? We bring a whole lot that the men don't have. It is not men against women. It is us, men and women, building a nation, and in this case, building the Ghana we all want. It is not a battle where a line is drawn, and so we are all up in arms against each other, facing each other to fist fight and then see who wins or who is better. I think that at this stage, what Ghana needs is us bringing the whole of ourselves as women. For each and every one of us to be seated here means that there's a quality that you have that others don't have. And if by grace, you've been given the opportunity to serve, be it in the public sector, private sector, or wherever, it means that you have enough to cause the change that is needed. And on this note, I want to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jeno Puku-Ajiman, for this great opportunity to serve in a sector that concerns every single Ghanaian in Ghana. And so the issues are enormous. They are about us. And so when they come up, we tackle it with all the passion and energy that we have. This evening, I bring you warm greetings from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, which has the mandate to mainstream gender and social inclusion concerns into national policies, plans, and budgets in line with the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It is an honor to be invited to this laudable first national annual forum on women in government and media, convened at the moment in Ghana's democratic development journey, where women are being empowered through policy reforms and inclusive leadership. Your Excellency, the theme for this are national aspirations, which strongly aligns with government's commitment to inclusive governance, as articulated in the 1992 Constitution and Ghana's obligations under the regional and international frameworks of CEDAW, which is the Convention on the Elimination of especially Goal 5 and Goal 16. Gender equality, as we all know, there's global evidence consistently that demonstrates that women in leadership tend to advance inclusive policies and priorities in the social protection, education, health, and peace building, visibly and meaningfully represented. Public institutions become more responsive to the needs of certain agenda of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ghana has made commendable progress to promote gender equality across various sectors in nurturing women leaders across public institutions, local governments, as well as the media. These efforts reflect a deliberate commitment to, or by the government, leading to a fair representation and effective public service delivery. Key among these implementations is the affirmative action law, which all of us are aware that by the grace of God, we've commenced effective implementation. The Secretariat has been set up. The committee to oversee its implementation is there. There's commitment on the part of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has also set up a task force at the presidency to ensure that almost all the things we have set up, the targets and all that, are achieved. This evening, as we sit here, we are guided to ensure that in our respective places, like Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman will say, it is not enough for us to be the first to enter. It is not enough for us to be the ones on the seat. But it is so crucial that that door through which we entered, we keep that door open for many more women to enter. And that is the only way we can achieve our target. On this note, let it ring in your mind as you assist us, as you assist His Excellency to allow more women to enter so that affirmative action will be achieved. Gender parity is the way to go. Thank you.
Gender parity is the way to go. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And so the next round of statements, 3 minutes strictly, please. The VIP has been in cabinet the whole day, so please let's make the speeches as short as possible. We are now going to hear from a CEO of a major performing entity, and it's my honor now to welcome to also make her impact statement, Ms. Judith Ajoba Blay, CEO of Ghana Gas and Energy Woman of the Year as well. Please, let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you, Shamima. I'll try and do 3 minutes. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Honorable Ministers and Members of Parliament, Honorable Chief of Staff, Senior Government and Public Officials, my colleague CEOs, Captains and Queens of the media, distinguished guests, I bring you warm greetings from the board, management, and the hard-working staff of Ghana Gas. It is a great honor to address this distinguished gathering of powerful women in public service and media. I wish to express my profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for believing in women and choosing Ghana's first woman vice president. Thank you again for appointing all of us in this room to serve in your government, Your Excellency. I particularly want to thank His Excellency for believing in me, a woman and a non-engineer, and for appointing me to lead a male-dominated, purely engineering, considerable results and meaningful impact. Under my supervision, Ghana Gas has sustained uninterrupted gas operations and increased the GPP's operational capacity from an average of 100 MMscf to 120 MMscf per day within just a year. That's the power of a woman. That's the power of all of us here. This achievement was anchored on my drive to create a culture of excellence, collaboration, and accountability. For the entire 2 weeks of the 2025 planned shutdown maintenance, I stayed with the team of engineers to ensure the timely resolution of any challenge that could have delayed the project timeline. That's a typical woman leader. I stayed there for 2 weeks. I left my family, stayed in Atuabo for 2 weeks, something none of my predecessors had done at Ghana Gas. Let's see what that resulted in. This resulted in the plant coming on stream in an unprecedented record time of 10 days, rather than the 14 days that the minister agreed for us to have it. That's the power of a woman. It is gratifying to report that these milestones were achieved at a comparatively reduced cost. That's another milestone, another trait of a woman, reduced cost, in line with our objective of cost optimization. Your Excellency, while I recount these milestones with gratitude and a deep sense of duty, I must acknowledge that the journey has not been without its challenges. About a year ago, on International Women's Day exactly, I assumed office as Ghana Gas without fanfare at the Gas House boardroom. For approximately 3 weeks, I used the boardroom as a strategic hub holding extensive, comprehensive assessment of our strengths, our weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Also, effectively dispelled the myth that non-engineers were unsuitable for leadership in this. Leadership is about clarity, it's about vision, and it's simply about execution. Through this process, we clearly defined what needed attention, what required short-term intervention, and what demanded medium-term planning. One key issue that emerged, what I termed the culture of false urgency at Ghana Gas. Everything was labeled urgent and critical, forcing the organization into perpetual firefighting mode. Recognizing that this was a issue rather than an operational one, I engaged senior members of the team on the need for structured planning. Did I say structured planning? Yes. That's the woman way. With their support, we have replaced that culture with one anchored on strategy, prioritization, and accountability. Having stabilized and optimized our gas infrastructure, management and the board are fully aligned with the President's vision and the Minister's direction to expand national gas infrastructure. Our focus includes the addition of a third compressor, the Takrady Thermal Pipeline, and the gas processing plant 2. These projects are not merely corporate initiatives. They are generational investments that will strengthen energy security, stimulate industrial growth, and anchor Ghana's long-term development. Our relationship with the media. In executing this bold vision, we recognize the media as a strategic partner. Ghana Gas is and remains intentional about supporting the media growth and professionalism. We provide sponsorship support, organize periodic media trainings to deepen understanding of gas operations, host annual media soirees to encourage open and relaxed engagement, and offer academic scholarship to strengthen capacity in energy reporting, especially for women in media. And my friend Eji Akwaku will testify to this relationship. Our objective is simple: to equip the media with the knowledge and the access necessary to report accurately, confidently, and responsibly, ensuring that information reaching the Ghanaian public is factual and free from misinformation. In return, I seek a collaborative relationship built on transparency, accountability, mutual trust, and respect from the media. Ask questions, demand clarity, hold us accountable, but let us engage constructively to ensure that national conversations around energy are informed and balanced. At Ghana Gas, friends from the media is literal. To follow women leaders here, whether in government or in media, I leave you with this. Competence knows no gender. Leadership knows no gender. Impact knows no gender. So, wherever we find ourselves in energy, in governance, or in journalism, do not just occupy space, transform it. Let's clone ourselves. We need to clone ourselves. I think I'm mimicking what Her Excellency says. She opens the door and she leaves it open for others to walk in. I call it cloning ourselves, leaving ourselves behind when we are not there. The same self, Judith the leader, Judith the impactful leader. Have I cloned myself before I leave? Let's clone ourselves. A vision I'm implementing at Ghana Gas with the formation of Ghana Gas Ladies. I'd like to conclude by expressing my sincere appreciation to the Office of the Government Communication for conceptualizing this novel program. It provides visibility to leadership and strengthens public trust as we work assiduously to advance the resetting agenda. Thank you. God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's time to hear the leader of the Women Caucus in Parliament, the Honorable Comfort Doyo Kujo Ganza. Please, with a round of applause.
Your Excellency, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyemang, our Vice President, Chief of Staff, I would like to stand on the existing protocol. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak under the theme Leadership, Visibility, and Public Trust. Serving in leadership role in Ghana today as a woman is challenging. It means a major issues across Parliament, the public service, various leadership positions, and in the media. Far too long, women have contributed significantly behind the scenes, yet their voices have not been heard. Even though Ghana has taken an important step with the appointment of 8th first female vice president, of which we commend the president for this bold decision, but we still have a long way to go. Out of 276 members of parliament, we have 41 female representation, which is relatively small as compared to that of the male representation. There is the need to fight for protection of the few women in advocate for the increase in number of female representation, especially parliament. Government should pay attention to the few women representation and support their work in strengthening their resilience towards the decision-making process. Behind the success we see today is a reality of women in leadership facing criticism, personal attack, and unfair judgment, not because of our work, but simply because we are women. Our words are mostly twisted, and our private lives are often used against us in public. This has to change. Ghana has taken an important step with the passage of the Affirmative Action Law. This law is not just about numbers, it is about fairness and giving women a fair chance to be seen, heard, and trusted in leadership. But passing a law alone is not enough. It's not enough. The law should be protected and it must be made to work. The media can help build public trust or it can create doubt. Women in governance and women in the media must work together to strengthen accountability and shape national narratives that support national development. False stories and misinformation damage public trust and weaken our democracy. As a government, we must communicate responsibly and clearly. The media must carefully report and confirm its stories. As citizens, we need to consider our words before speaking. Democracy is enhanced when women are protected. Public trust increases when the trust is safeguarded. This is the Ghana we must continue to work for. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are here now, our Vice President is the head of the economic management team. And how do we see it from 92, when she was nominated as the Vice President? The argument was she's an English student and the other one is economic student. But let's see the difference. Which one has performed better? And how are we carrying it as media? Or is it because she's a woman? Please, let the world know that a woman can do it and do it better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause to the leader of the Women Caucus in Parliament and also the Deputy Majority Chief Whip, right? Please give her another resounding round of applause. I would like to invite our Chief of Staff to make some brief comments on behalf of the President, and then we have a brief surprise act so we can prepare for the Vice President. Please, let's welcome Mr. Julius Deborah with a round of applause.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President, I also want to run on the established protocols. Distinguished ladies, Felix says we should minimize the gentlemen because we are just three. Well, let me, on behalf of His Excellency, welcome you for taking time off your pay to be here, stopping whatever you were doing to join us. This is something very important to him, and I'm sure Madam Vice will be telling you what actually prompted this. But let me take you down memory lane for a moment. Remember when His Excellency the President nominated Professor Nana? We all said she's broken what? The glass ceiling. Very outstanding. But you know the part that I loved so much? When Prof. Nana herself said, well, you've opened the door for me to walk through, but I don't want to be selfish. I'm going to stand by the latch, open the door for many other women to walk through. And I think that is what she started today. The objective of bringing you here is not just to come and listen to a series of talks, but to try and network, make some good friends, collaborate as we progress, because that's what the President wants to see. He wants women to take your rightful position in the society. Today is not a day for long talk for the men, so I'm going to coil back to my shell. But before I do that, let me share a little advice with you, especially my colleagues in ministerial, chief executive, parliament, and other positions. When I used to be the minister for local government, there's something I did that actually helped me. And I want to share with you, and you can also practice it, since this meeting is between office holders, political office holders, and media practitioners. Anytime I intend starting any initiative, I try as much as possible to invite people from the media fraternity. And then I'll tell them, colleagues, this is what I've been asked by the president to do. If you were to be in my shoes, how are you going to run it? So play the devil's advocate and tell me what you think will work and what will not work. Even though sometimes you know what you want, you just listen to them, and at the end of whatever they say, you thank them. That way, when you start implementing it, you are guaranteed nobody will criticize you because they were part of it. So I wish you so well. Make sure you put that into practice so that you won't get more criticism because they contributed to the formation of the idea. Thank you so much and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Chief. Just to announce that we will also be taking a statement from the representative of the district chief executives very shortly, but because we need to listen to the VIP, we would call you in the next segment of the program. But ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause, let us welcome one of Ghana's soulful female performers, Efia.
Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful time. It's so beautiful to see so many women in one room. Give yourselves a wonderful
gratis, so we really appreciated that kind gesture. Now is the time and the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, without saying much, those who believe that all of us may follow, Her Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyemang.
Let me address all of you as friends and colleagues. Is that okay? Yes. And my children too. Yes. That too. You are all welcome. All of you. I think the Chief of Staff has already explained what you're doing and why we're doing this. It's very important that once in a while we all come together. We wish we can do this more often. You and I know why. So this is a rare moment for all of us to be gathered here. And in the process, to think of the many, many women who are not able to be here. So to always see ourselves as representatives of those whose names are not on the roster, but without whom we would not be here. So that's the first comment. It's very important also to network. If only to meet one person you haven't met in a while. So when we come here or when we attend events, let's avoid sitting by the people we know. I know that makes you feel comfortable, so it's okay. But sometimes it's good to go beyond the comfort zone. Talk to somebody. And of course, I haven't even commended you for your dance move. Sometimes what we need is just a simple listening ear. Somebody we can do. So events like these are very, very important. I'm sure when many of you, and of course, let me commend Efia, she has a lot of fans. You know, when you all started moving towards the center, I was watching you, and I said, these are women. Congratulations. So events like this also allow us to close ranks, to put some faces to some of the names and some of the names to some of the faces. But every woman is a leader in her own right, and you know that. And if we are leaders, we are called to serve. That's all there is. So let us take our roles as leaders very, very seriously. And I believe that, you know, there are armies of people waiting to meet with him. Otherwise, I'm sure he'd have been here by now. So let me greet all of you on his behalf. And the topic we are supposed to reflect on, visibility, especially visibility and leadership. That's very, very important. You know, when Shamima told me about this event, she knew I'd be here. And I'm very happy to be able to make it. So we all know that visibility by itself is not the goal. Influence is. And influence without standards can be risky. In the media, visibility shapes how society understands power, how society understands leadership itself, how society understands competence and credibility. Those who recount narratives do not simply report, they organize attention. They help determine what is urgent and what is trivial and what is ignored. That is a significant form of power. Women in media, therefore, hold a strategic position. More than mere participants in public conversation, you help shape its terms. You help decide which stories are framed as serious and which are reduced to spectacle. You help decide whether public debate is grounded in evidence or driven by outrage. Leadership by itself is demanding, and I think everybody here knows that. But leadership for women in public life often carries additional weight. And again, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Or you don't? Yeah, you live it every day. Women normally, especially in leadership, operate under heightened pressure and scrutiny. Yet, our development requires women also to shape our national direction, whether in cabinet, in parliament, in boardrooms, in newsrooms, production studios, or communities across the country. Visibility can expand these possibilities. It can normalize women's authority, but it must be accompanied by credibility, which must be sustained by public trust. Trust is built through accountability, communication, and competence. It is strengthened by policies when they are explained clearly, when institutions engage openly, and leaders remain consistent, when the media reports with context rather than sensationalism, then trust is grounded. The relationship between women in government and women in media must therefore not be accidental. It must be strategic. Media shapes perception. Perception influences confidence. Confidence, by turn, sustains institutions. This means that when gender issues are reduced to clickbait, the public is denied substance. When stories about women focus on superficial issues only, like appearance, at the expense of our brains, our competence, and our outcomes, the space for women in public life becomes very, very small and sometimes insignificant. We must refuse to be belittled. We must refuse to be intimidated. We must refuse to be shaped in other people's images. We must have faith in ourselves. We must refuse for anyone to talk us down simply because we are women. We are proud of being women. Women journalists and editors carry a particular responsibility, not because women are morally superior, but because your presence changes perspective. When you occupy editorial rooms, you can question framing, you can challenge assumptions, and you can insist on depth. There's also an educational role here. For many, the media is our classroom for governance, economics, health, public policy, and many others. Women in media leadership can clarify these complex issues. You can elevate credible expertise and also expose harmful practices, and by so doing, contribute meaningfully, like you are doing already, to national development. The pressures of the digital age must be acknowledged. Speed and controversy tend to be rewarded, and they travel faster than nuance. But standards must still govern editorial choices. Ladies and gentlemen, where are the few gentlemen? I'm acknowledging you anyway. Inclusive leadership is not symbolic. It is a developmental issue. Countries that meaningfully integrate women into decision-making build stronger institutions, more stable governance outcomes, and more inclusive growth. Therefore, women are not only beneficiaries of development, we are among its drivers. And expanding representation does not mean lowering standards. To women in government and public institutions, let us continue to lead with integrity, communicate transparently, and mentor deliberately. Let us reach out to the younger women. Let's guide them. Let's restore trust and let them know that we have their back. The visibility should not stop at self-promotion. It should be a way to explain our work clearly so that citizens can judge performance on substance rather than on speculation. To the younger women entering public life, journalism too, you are stepping into professions with real influence. Your bylines, reporting, and leadership will shape people's understanding of power and potential. And at a forum of many women, let us always be mindful about the whole concept of power. If we are going to play it the way it has been played against us, then we are not going to make progress. Let us play it in ways that are fair to everybody, regardless. So, just try to interrogate every story and decision, and do this by clarity and by opening minds. You can ask yourself many questions, including the following. Whatever I'm reporting, does it clarify? Does it provoke? Does it inform? Does it inflame? And to what end? Ladies and gentlemen, democratic governance depends on informed citizens. Informed citizens depend on credible journalism and credible leadership. Let this form signal an intentional relationship in which women in governance and women in media work together, support each other professionally in order to strengthen democratic accountability. Let us commit to leadership that is visible, credible, and compassionate. Let us build institutions that earn trust through words and actions. Let us shape national narratives responsibly. Let us ensure that the story of Ghana's development is told accurately, fairly, and with confidence in Ghana's women. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We truly appreciate your time with us today. And yes, so the VP would beg permission to take her leave. If you are in favor, you may say aye. It's a democracy. Hey, if we are discriminating, do you want my boss in there? Let's also acknowledge the presence of Honorable Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, who is a special advisor to the Vice President. You also very much, Madam Joyce Bauer, Chief of Staff Julius Debra, and Felix Kwachi Ofosu. Yes, please. Thank you. I think we can now take our seats and then get to the second. The MPs would also take leave of us. Some of them, not all of them, some support Deputy Minister. So we are going to have a brief tete-a-tete with our two trailblazers. Some seats. There are some seats now at the front. Right. Thank you very much. So I'm going to invite Amma Pratt to have a brief tete-a-tete.
He's not just any Kwame, he's Kwame the TV license legend. Kwame knows that by paying his TV license, he's supporting GBC, our public service broadcast.